Hello and welcome to Thoughts and Updates, and a particular warm welcome to all those new subscribers who have managed to find me through Twitter and Bad Brad Berkut. Welcome to Scotland, which is a beautiful country. It's not particularly beautiful in the background that I've got here as I live next to a canal, the Glasgow-Edinburgh Canal, which runs between Glasgow and Edinburgh, the Caledonian Canal. Here in Scotland. And just a note before I begin, I am Scottish, I live in Scotland, I am not English. I don't live in England. I am no more English than you in America are Canadian, or you in Canada are American. It's something that really does annoy us, and whilst I welcome you, I've got a request, if you don't mind, because there's nothing I can do about this. Get rid of them. You know who I mean. The POTUS. The President of the United States, I don't even know when that became a thing, the POTUS, but it's really important that what people understand is that globally, worldwide, what we have is a view of America that's completely and utterly unfair, and it's wrong. And it's based on a man who not only is a stranger to reality, but thinks things like Kung Flu make sense because he has filled arenas with people, and let's not be fooled by the current COVID-19 pandemic stopping people going to listen to him. The fact of the matter is there's a swell of opinion within not just America but worldwide for these kind of views. We cannot have much of an arrogance over politics in the United Kingdom, especially not in Scotland to an extent, because in 2014 we decided we didn't want our own independence because we voted for Brexit, not in Scotland but in the United Kingdom. And so therefore we have been as guilty as being turkeys voting for Christmas as the American people were in the election which saw Donald Trump become president. But you get a chance in November to do something about it. I'm not going to take one knee, I'm going to take both knees and beg, please, for the sake of us all, it is time now for people to wise up and wake up. He is killing ordinary Americans. I live in a country where we are behind the curve in coming out of lockdown. We've done it far more gingerly than our cousins down south in England. And I looked at the figures yesterday, and most areas in Scotland which have got a health board who collect the figures are down to no deaths. We're not quite down to single figures on a daily basis, but we are getting there. And it is believed that there are only 1,500 people in the whole of Scotland who have got COVID-19. So one of the great things about it is that I am here this weekend with my daughter. She's travelled. I went down and got her. I travelled the 50 miles. I haven't seen her since March. And seeing things on the screen on Twitter and Facebook and so on, which is grandchildren hugging grandparents, is fantastic and great, but it comes with the sacrifices we have made, and it is too early to sit back and go, do you know what, we are past this, the pandemic is gone, because it kills people. I mean, you see the likes of Alan Sugar, Lord Sugar, talking about, we're being too cautious, we need to come out quicker, we need to do what America's doing. Do me a favour, son. Just because none of your friends have died because they're in a beautiful mansion somewhere, completely and utterly away from the rest of humanity, that you cannot see the effect that it's had in working class areas and areas of deprivation. How dare you even have the platform through Jeremy Vine, political commentator in the UK, to express your wishes. Platforms. On to boxing. What I've been doing this week, the big news in boxing, of course, is the most obvious one, which is Jarrell Miller, the big baby, the crybaby, has suddenly cried foul. He is disgusted, he is appalled, he is something about the fact that he failed the drugs test, and therefore is out of his comeback fight against Jerry Forrest, and probably out of his career. Who's going to take a, punt on this guy? Although he's doing that thing which Dillian Whyte did, but Dillian Whyte did, and he knew that when the truth came out, everybody was going to go, oh really? And therefore, there is a hope, I imagine, with Jarrell Miller, that he's going to be treated in exactly the same way that Dillian Whyte was. We'll wait to see. I'm not going to condemn the man yet, but This is a serial cheat. Somebody who has used his ignorance in order to suggest that he didn't know what he was doing. You did sort it. Come on. Okay, so I also have to finish off a piece for Brad today, this morning, on Lee Selby, the Welsh Mayweather, a moniker, a name, a nickname that probably didn't help him at all, though he's on the hunt for his second weight world title to become a Welsh legend, although he is already. He was the IBF featherweight champion for a few years before he lost it to Josh Warrington. Killed himself to get to the weight, so much so that he has gone up 2 weight divisions to campaign at lightweight and beat our own legendary boxer in Scotland. That is Ricky Burns. Boxing's coming back in the UK. It'll be back during the course of this week. Closed door fights. We've had closed door matches in England for football, which seem to have captured again the imagination of people, though the canned crowd noises are a bit much, I have to say. Writing this week has included some reviews. I've looked at Definitely Theatre's Contractions, which I found I was a little bit distanced from because I don't understand BSL, which is, listen, it's a fault. I've got a deaf son. I should know British Sign Language, but I don't have a working knowledge of it. You know, put me on the naughty step. I'm dead sorry, but I don't, so it made it quite difficult. Fantastic piece by Soho Theatre called Groomed. Utterly, I can't praise this highly enough. I didn't give it an outstanding review. There's a couple of things that I thought was a bit wrong with it, but wow. Then Siddhartha Stone, which is a wee 5-minute piece, visual theatre done for the Wandsworth Arts Fringe, which is still up. And also, those who know me in theatre know that I can't stand Samuel Beckett. So, Not I is a piece that's quite a radical piece by the mouth, with the mouth in it, and a wonderful My Tourette's, Me, My Mouth and I on BBC iPlayer about the actor who has Tourette's, Jess Adams, I want to say, and I think that's right. I apologise if it's not, but a fantastic documentary about how she approached this play, especially Biscuit, as she has Tourette's Biscuit and keeps on saying Biscuit. And it was a tender look, but also a fascinating look at how people deal with that condition. And her creativity was just, wow, great, fantastic, absolutely blown away by it. This week I'll be looking at things to do with Buxton, but I'm off for the week, Buxton Arts Fringe. And the number of fringe theatre festivals that are on throughout the United Kingdom blew me away. I've been involved in fringe theatre for over a decade, but just seeing some of the creative work that's being done was heightened by, I was on a Zoom call with all the fringe review, quite a few fringe review reviewers from all over the world. It was awe-inspiring. Thank you to Paul Levy, who runs Fringe Review, to get my head around the size of this organisation, where there are people in San Francisco, there are people in Canada and Toronto, there are people on the Eastern Seaboard, in America in a car, travelling, about to get in a storm, talking to us about theatre and how it survived was just astonishing. Humbled me, especially when people spoke so lovely, well about my own work, and it just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away, and I thought, this is more than worthy, beyond worthy, and great fun. So I'll be dedicating myself to doing a wee bit more in order to support that, and support the companies who are doing something. What's been good is that I've been seeing stuff that is not overly polished. The opportunity to do something which is a wee bit different because of the lockdown has been grasped by some. By others, it's been an opportunity to take their best work and stick it up on the internet and go, look at what we can do. So the ones that have taken a little bit of a risk, I really, really do like. Now, I was reminded of a risk I took a few years ago, a long time ago, where I was a lecturer in Ayr College and a little bit bored, raised money in order to send myself out to Kosovo to teach a war zone, former war zone. And Eton sent me, who is the former artistic director of the Kosovo National Theatre, some photographs of me teaching at Pristina University, which was just great, fantastic. And it really did push me. I really did struggle to come up with new stuff to work on, because it was so out of my comfort zone, but so important to me at the time, and so important to me since, to support the development of a new country in the Balkans, in Kosovo. And part of the wonderful thing is seeing them compete in football, which they have done. And that's been my second wee national team, I suppose. And in football this week, for the Scottish Football Supporters Association, I also had another Zoom call where we talked about a book that we're working on, My Love For, and it's love for your football club. Mine being Ayr United, I've written my piece. I've written a little pro forma to get other people to write it for their club, and we're looking for contributions from every club in Scotland, at least in the Scottish Professional Football League, so all of the 42 clubs, but also those who are in the juniors, the amateurs, anywhere, because I do think that what we've got is a fantastic array of wonderful community-backed, community-owned, community-important soccer in America, football in the United Kingdom clubs. So looking for that. I also written a little bit about the court case this week between Hearts and Partick Thistle, who were told in the Court of Session and a Court of Law that they need to take their dispute with the Scottish Professional Football League back to Scottish football. So the Scottish Football Association, probably starting Monday, is going to put together some form of arbitration to make a decision over whether or not the Football League has acted illegally in calling the season early and relegating Hearts and Partick Thistle, as well as Stranraer, who couldn't afford to be part of this huge court case, which is unfortunate. I was hoping that somewhere outside of us would actually give us a little bit of a steer to what should be done, because we are galloping towards the beginning of a season, and we have now seen training resume, and then full contact training will resume at some point on top of that, along with other sporting events. This is the lifeblood of Scotland, and a little play also before I go for the lifeblood of the culture of the United Kingdom. More theatres are looking as though they're not going to survive this, and it's good to see, in a sense, Mousetrap and the West End reopening before the end of this year. We have, of course, the Lyceum Theatre in Edinburgh mothballing for up till 2021. The Edinburgh Festival Fringe is not happening this year. It's going to come back next year, and that's one of the discussions we had during the week about what's it going to look like. One of the positive things that came from that discussion was we've discovered that more and more people can work from home. They don't need office space, so that'll become vacant. A lot of shops are not going to survive this, so their spaces will become vacant. And there's a big possibility you're going to see more and more pop-up venues arise and arrive on the cultural scene, and that kind of creativity is going to be great. And an ex-student of mine, Heather, who has told us all she's got funding from Creative Scotland to create something in a group chat, which is talking of the 20th anniversary of a group of students of mine. 20th anniversary. Holy Mother of God. It's then you begin to feel old. But hey, at least I'm still in the game. So here it is from a relatively sunny Scotland, across from our marina here at the banks of the Caledonian Canal, which runs between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Till next week, make sure you get Trump out in November. Bye for now.